What's going on, my peoples? It's your boy, Mr. OBF, back one time for your mind. Welcome to the OBF, the network, people. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button so you guys get the live streams when we go live, people. And if you can't donate to the channel, go to OBF, the real Cash App, and donate to the channel. People highly appreciate it. Let's get right into this. See, what we ain't going to do is allow Coon niggas like Tatum to sit out here and just lie about a case of a brother, a young brother, God rest his soul, Lacy, the young brother, how the system railroaded him and ruined, literally, personally, literally killed this man. And what's so sad about this, or what Brandon Tatum is doing by lying, why this man is dead. See, this is the issue we're having. This is why it goes back to this Charlie Kirk shit. This young brother is dead because of these crooked ass cops. The whole system is fucking corrupt, but these specific cops, or cops, I'll say all the cops, because they went along with this shit. Now the district attorney is out there. Now she big mad at the police for lying in a police report. But you can't tell Brandon Tatum this. Brandon Tatum always got to justify bad shit. This young brother is dead because of corrupt, unqualified police officers. And when you get unqualified to be a police officer, when you start lying to cover up. People, we don't know why this fucking cop basically just lied on this kid. What was his whole reason of doing it? Now Brandon Tatum is sitting here lying, saying the witnesses said that he did it. All the witnesses that was there said that he had nothing to do with it. But let's listen to this stupid nigga.
I've really been wanting to talk about this for a while now. Let me tell you what the perspective was that I had when this first happened. Knowing how investigations work, I have done investigations on vehicular homicide. I've done plenty of these. I've probably done about 6 of them. And
Brandon Tatum. Do it really matter of how many cases you did in this situation? First, you're trying to give everybody that you're somewhat qualified of what you're speaking about. That's not the issue. The issue is, why are you lying? Nobody gives a damn how many criminal homicide cases you have been in, if I even saying that right. But it does not matter about your fucking resume. What matters is that you got a platform and you continue to lie on this young man's while he's dead. You had a big problem with when motherfuckers said what they said about Charlie Kirk and the death of him, but you're doing the same shit. You're continuing to railroad this young brother, even in his death. And he did nothing wrong. And you see, I'm frustrated, people, because I'm just trying to figure out why a lot of our black folks, this nigga should never be around us. He should never feel comfortable in our space. This is so disgusting of what he's doing, and he's acting like he's really saying something very important. You're not. But let's move on. Watch how he lies.
know for a fact how cops come to the conclusion in many cases and why they charge people for these incidents. Now, I want you to understand. Let's put the clip up of the naysayers, because we're going to address the naysayers and all the people who was all negative towards the trooper, and they should apologize. The cops,
we should apologize to a state trooper that lied in the police report. We should apologize to a state trooper or the trooper or whatever the fuck he is, or sheriff, whatever, that actually went to witnesses' houses and tried to get them to say shit in the write down, and they write down what happened in the report. He was trying to get them language to use in the report that they was writing of what they witnessed of what happened. But we should apologize for that. I mean, we should apologize to him. He intentionally, we come to find out, he intentionally watched the video and seen that the young brother Lacy was not even nowhere near the fucking car accident. He was so far away from the car accident. How the fuck was it even his, well, if that's the case, if the cars that was behind him should have been charged too. We watched the goddamn video, Brandon Tatum. He had nothing to do with the fucking accident. But we should apologize to the officer. The corrupt officer? The one that lied in the police report? That he turned in to the DA? Now the DA is furious. She want his badge. She want him out of law enforcement forever. You know how fucked up of an individual you gotta be. He basically created, this officer created a story that didn't exist. And this kid wound up committing suicide. How can he sleep at night? How his kids and his wife can look him in his face and know what the fuck he did? Well, Brandon Tatum want us to apologize to this bitch ass officer. Okay, cool. Let's move on.
We're not there. I want you to remember, I would think about this. When the crash happened, the cops were not on the scene. They had no idea what happened. They had no idea. When they get to the scene, people on the scene begin to tell them, this is why this and this and this and this happened. There was a car.
First of all, it's a goddamn lie. Nobody said that Lacy had anything to do. None of the witnesses said he had anything to do with why the accident got caused. He's lying. He's blatantly lying. None of the witnesses, the motherfucker that actually killed the older man, didn't even say that. He's just blatantly lying. He's doing exactly what the cop did. Lie. The cop made up the story, people. I don't even know why Brandon Tatum is even making a video about this, of trying to justify this shit. Let's move on.
Headed in the wrong way traffic. This car turned to avoid that car, and this is what happened. That's the information.
First of all, it's a lie. We all know it's a lie, though, Brandon. We all know now it's a lie. See, this nigga is pissing me off. Even though, let's go off his dumbass narrative that these witnesses said all this shit that happened. When the police officer watched the goddamn video, the young brother Lacy was nowhere near the goddamn car crash. He had nothing. He wasn't going in the wrong direction. He wasn't doing any of that. It wasn't his car. What is this nigga talking about? But
the police got initially from people on the scene. They didn't just pull up and be like, where the black people at? Was there a black person in the vicinity? Yeah, it was him.
First of all, Brandon Tatum, please stop that shit. Nobody was using race about this shit until we found out that this cop lied. So we had to bring in race. Why would he do this to a black man? Shit, it could have been a white person. I'd have been like, what the fuck? But we know that it's innocent black people that went to jail for a long period of time for shit they didn't do years down the line. That's why we bring up race. You ignorant bitch, if you wonder why we keep bringing up race. People, do you know the percentage of white people that go to jail that's innocent, that get released? You know the percentage of that? Come to find out they didn't do it. You know the percentage of it? 10%. It's 50 for black people. So yes, we're going to bring up race when we dealing with law enforcement. And we talking about a corrupt fucking cop that lied on this kid, and this kid wound up taking his own life. Yes, we're bringing up race. Sorry if that hurts your feelings, or any of you motherfuckers. It hurts your feelings, we bringing up race. I don't give a fuck. This young brother lost his life for nothing. He killed himself because he couldn't deal with what the fuck was happening to him. Him being railroaded. He know he ain't do nothing wrong, but he's being prosecuted. His life falls apart. He's a top first round draft pick. He's getting ready to go to the NFL and make millions. And I mean millions. He was getting ready to have generational wealth for his goddamn family. And this corrupt cop took it all away. So, excuse me, Brandon Tatum, that we using race.
He did it. Put him in jail. No probable cause. I can just make up the story. That's not how it happened. The witnesses on this.
He's lying. He's lying. Why are you lying? That's exactly what happened. What's wrong with you? That's what the cop did. He just ignored what the cop. Let's move on. I can't believe this nigga.
Put Kyren Lacy as the person who was responsible. The cops just followed the investigatory process. And then they went to the store, they looked at the camera.
Tom, he's a liar. He's a liar. Because it's on camera. Body cam footage of the cop going to this older black couple house to corrupt them into saying some shit in a report that that didn't happen. These are the facts. Then he's getting ready to talk about the surveillance tape. Watch how he lies.
They built the case. They had probable cause. When you have probable cause to get to them, the cops just followed the investigatory process. And then they went to the store. They looked at the camera. They built the case. They had probable cause.
See how I skipped over the tape? See how I skipped over it? Because the tape proved that whatever the cop put in the report was a lie. The camera footage showed that. Why are you ignoring that? First of all, Brandon Tatum, your whole analogy of going through this shit is bogus. You are not credible at this point because we know now the store footage shows that the brother Lacy he was nowhere near the fucking scene. I mean, as far as the accident, like he wasn't. Like I'm not saying he wasn't in a facility or he was some cars back. He had nothing to do with the accident. He had nothing. Not a damn thing. That's what the people, he's trying to get us to pretend that we didn't see what we seen. We didn't see the video. Brandon Tatum, we seen the goddamn video. What are you justifying? Why are you protecting a crooked cop? Don't you supposed to be, you was a former law enforcement person. Ain't you about justice? Why are you trying to make this dude be innocent of a crime? Listen, the district attorney should charge his ass with murder. The cop. That's what she should do if she that goddamn mad about it. Charge his ass with murder. For this kid wound up killing himself because of his corrupt lying ass. Why are you trying to justify some shit that we already know that what was in the report, what the cop said in the report that got to the DEA, that's why the DEA went to the grand jury, and the grand jury seen that, and they charged him. People, let me explain to you what happened. The motherfucker that actually killed that older man that actually got in an accident with him didn't get charged with nothing. Still to this day, nothing. But somehow the black man in this, I guess he was in like a lime green car. That had nothing to do with the goddamn accident even happening. He's the only one got charged with basically murder. And Brandon Tatum is on his pissy ass show justifying bullshit. Brandon Tatum, this is why we call you a sellout. This is why we question your blackness. Why are you justifying this shit? Why are you lying? But anyway, let's move on.
You have probable cause to get a warrant for somebody's arrest. It has to be legitimate, probable cause. It's not conjecture. It's not just, I feel like.
First of all, he's a liar. He's a liar. Because we're still sitting here wondering how the fuck did the DA did not see the surveillance video, because she has all the witnesses' statements. She has excuse me. She has the cop police report of what supposed to happen, right? And she had the surveillance tape. And she still took that shit and took it to a grand jury. I want to know, did she show the grand jury the video of him not even nowhere to cause that accident? He had nothing to do with it. So I don't even believe the fucking DEA or Attorney General, whoever the fuck it is. I don't believe him. So you didn't see the surveillance tape? That's evidence. That's the only surveillance you got to see what the fuck happened. This dude is just a fucking liar, man.
And then they went to the store, they looked at the camera, they built the case, they had probable cause. When you have probable cause to get a warrant for somebody's arrest, it has to be legitimate, probable cause. It's not conjecture, it's not just I feel like, I think like.
First of all, one or two things happen. And I meant to say this earlier. One or two things happen because he brings up the district attorney, the attorney general, going to the grand jury. Only two things gonna happen. She knew about the video and didn't show the grand jury, or the officer never gave her the surveillance tape. So she may not have knew. So she was only going off of his report. Because they didn't have anything else. They didn't have no more evidence. And people, we know in 2025, it's very easy for a grand jury to indict somebody. That's the easiest shit to do. Because what people don't understand, the defense is not there to present their case. They're not allowed to. Only the goddamn, or if you got a defense lawyer, your defense lawyer don't really say shit. They're not allowed to. The attorney general or the DA sits there and present all this evidence, but they don't even give you all they don't even give the grand jury all the evidence. So it's very hard. Like he almost like it's like this crazy operation that they got to go through to get probable cause to charge somebody. No, they don't. No, they don't. It is very easy to get a grand jury to indict somebody. And let me explain something to you. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about this. I don't even think the defense lawyers get to even help pick the grand jury. If I'm not mistaken. And I think it depends on what state you are in, or town, or whatever. So he's just lying.
Witnesses, you have video footage, you have all of the above. And I want you to ask yourself this question. If you're one of the people that think this cop should be put in a prison, you have to ask yourself the question is, why did the witnesses say that he was involved in this? Why did they point out the vehicle that was responsible for the car accident? They are the ones that put Kyren Lacy there. The cops didn't see it. They are the ones that did it.
He's a liar. Just think about this, y'all. How did the brother Lacy have anything to do with the car crash? And the car crash happened in front of him. It didn't happen like he was in front of the car that actually hit the other car. He was behind the shit. How did he, even if, let's go over his thing. How the witnesses are even going to say that? That wouldn't even make any goddamn sense. We know that he was the car. Listen, people, this is how you know this what he's doing is bullshit. Lacy was not, he was, when the crash happened, way before you even see his car in the video. How the fuck did the witness say he had something to do with it? Something ain't right about this. Even if he says the witnesses said this. Why would they say that? He was nowhere near the fucking crash. He was behind the crash. How did he somehow have something to do with the crash and he behind it? His car's behind the shit.
Before the cops looked at the camera and said, okay, oh, that's the car y'all talking about. Yeah, that's the car. Okay, we got to find out what car it is. Did you get a license plate number? How would they?
Listen, Brandon Tatum, stop, bro. You making a fool of yourself. And you should be embarrassed. As a human being, you should be embarrassed. Just as a human being. Fuck being black. You should be embarrassed as a human being for sitting here lying. So you're telling me the fucking cop so he didn't watch the crash? He didn't do none of that. He said, oh, that's the car that caused the accident. when the car wasn't even there when the accident happened. The accident happened before the car even pops up on the surveillance camera. You see on the surveillance camera, the crash happened first. So how the fuck did that car, he said, yeah, okay, that's the car you're talking about? The cop should have been like, well, how did he cause the crash? He wasn't even close to the... It doesn't even make any sense. Let's move on. This dude, he's unbelievable.
Get the license plate number unless a witness got the license plate. The cops are not physically there. You can't see the license plate number from the cameras in the convenience store. So that means that somebody thought he was responsible. They wrote his plate down. They gave it to the police officers. And that's how they end up finding out who he was and that he...
Listen, even if you go off of what Brandon Tatum is saying, the surveillance camera shows that he has nothing to do with the fucking accident. I'm going to keep saying it over and over again because he keeps trying to justify something that is not justifiable anymore. I don't give a fuck if the witnesses lied or not. I don't care. The police officer, is his job to figure out the goddamn truth. He's the investigator. So if they lied, if you watch the surveillance camera, it shows that whatever they put in the report or whatever he wrote down that they said they witnessed, it's a lie. So why did he go along with it? After he's seen the surveillance camera. Why didn't he go back to these witnesses and say, look, what you say you witness of with that other car doesn't exist. That's not true. He did not have anything to do with the accident. Why didn't the cop do that? You know what the cop actually did? He went back and was doubling down and trying to get them to put shit in the report that he wanted them to say.
Was driving that vehicle. But let's listen to the naysayers because the state troopers put out the video that proves their point in this situation. Roll the clip.
This is what a piece of shit looks like.
First of all, he's a lying piece of shit. He's a liar, bro. Listen, people, let me just say this. I don't know what part of the chain of command that finally said, look, we might get fucked for this. And they put the video out, and it wound up showing that the cop lied. What is he talking about? What video? What video was he watching? Anyway, let's move on.
This crooked officer, Tyler Warren, is the one who told a witness to lie on Kyren Lacy. Rest in peace.
I am sick to my stomach seeing what happened in the Kyren Lacy case today, man. Because earlier this year, all the media was talking about this guy is that he killed somebody in a hit and run. That's what the police said. Passing in a no passing zone leading to a head-on collision. He was charged with homicide, felony.
Hold on.
It turns out there is one scent that women just can't get enough of on a man.
I don't know how to explain it.
Hold on. A hit and run. Nobody said he was a hit and run. He fled the scene of an accident after somebody had died. That's not a hit and run.
First of all, that is a lie too. He didn't flee the scene. He had nothing to do with the car crash. Now, listen. It's not a fucking crime. If an accident happens, you have nothing to do with it, and you go around that shit. That's not illegal. He didn't flee a scene. He was not a part of the fucking collision, period. So how is he fleeing the scene? That's why the charges was bogus. It was bullshit. Because, people, I don't give a fuck which jurisdiction you in, which state you in. You don't have to stand around. If you didn't have anything to do with the car crash, you don't have to be there. Because actually you be mainly kind of holding up traffic even more. Because of the crash, right? It'd be actually even more chaos. right? But it's no crime for you. It's like if I have a head-on collision and the car behind me, nothing wrong with their car. They so far back, they don't have anything to do with it. And they go around me and who I had the accident with. And somehow the police charged them for leaving the scene they had nothing to do with. That's not even, you can't charge nobody for that. How you going to flee a scene you had nothing to do with it? The person that hit somebody, they flee the scene. That's what that is. The whole shit is bogus. Let's move on.
And then the hit and run statute is, it has subdivisions in it that explains what constitutes a hit and run. If you cause an accident and you flee the scene, that's the same.
Well, we know he didn't have anything to help cause the scene. I mean, the accident. So how is he fleeing the scene? We know this now, Brandon Tatum. Why you justify some shit that don't exist? We know it didn't exist. We know it never happened. What are you justifying? What are you trying to make a point of? People, and this is the problem with social media. It's too many habitual liars on social media with platforms. If I'm YouTube, I'm making him take that shit down. Because he's blatantly lying. He's putting out misinformation for no apparent fucking reason. I don't even know why he's just trying to put out misinformation for. Trying to give a different perspective of what? The evidence is clear. We know what happened. The police officer lied.
They treat it similarly if you were the one that hit somebody and you fled the scene. It's fleeing the scene of a car accident. That's underneath the hit and run. So the officers never said in the case report that he actually hit anybody and killed anybody. He was just involved in a situation where he caused the accident and then he fled the scene.
But it was a lie. Brandon Tatum, it was a lie. He had nothing to do with even causing the accident. We know that now. What are you talking about? What are you justifying? I'm still trying to figure that out. We know the cop lied. Let's move on.
Roll it.
On a reckless operation of a vehicle.
From oncoming traffic colliding with the vehicle of Mr. Hall.
And right here we see the crash, right? But the thing is, they said that he passed in a no passing zone, and that led to a head-on collision. But where possibly is Kyren Lacy's car?
You will see another vehicle come to a stop, and then you'll see.
He is right there, behind the crash.
Now, this is when this piece of shit tells the witness to lie.
All right, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes, and the brakes, like, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger, and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger.
Make sure you say that you slammed on the brakes to avoid that charger. The same charger that.
Hold on. So think about this for a minute.
Oh, Lord.
And when you play a little small, I'm gonna show the full video so you'll see exactly why he got charged. But when you play a little snippet and you crop the video to where it only shows the accident there and then Kyren Lacy kind of come into the screen, then this is after, you'll see, this is after he slams on his brakes and he slows down because he was driving on the wrong side of the road and he did cause his accident. But then they go to the police officer.
It's a lie. What the fuck are you talking about? How did he come? They should take down his page. What are you talking about, bro? What video are you watching? Think about what this stupid motherfucker is saying. Somehow he's going to prove he got the whole video to show that somehow Lacy, even if Lacy was in the wrong lane, right? But he behind the accident. The accident happens. How did he cause it? How did he cause it? What video that you gonna show that somehow, some way, he still caused the accident? How? He's behind the goddamn accident. Yes, if an accident happens in front of you, yes, you're gonna slam on your brakes. But nobody behind him got in the accident. The accident happened in front of him. How the fuck is the accident still his fault? Oh, he had some, it was the way, first of all, people, never mind. I swear to God, like my brain hurts of trying to explain stupidity. This is just plain stupid. Brandon, you should be ashamed of yourself, man. Why you do shit like this? Like, I really genuinely want to know what's running through your brain for you to sit out here and blatantly lie and make up shit. You're just lying. You got the evidence. Okay, nigga. So they just took a little part clip and AI'd that bitch, huh? This came from the goddamn police department. They didn't chop this up. They ain't chopped and screwed this motherfucking video, nigga. He's talking about the whole length. What the fuck are you talking about? Let's move on, man.
Why don't they show the full body-worn camera footage of the police officer's full statement and his total interaction with all the witnesses? Why don't they show that?
This got nothing. Why are you blaming everybody else for some shit that they have no control of? What is wrong with you? I don't give a damn. Let me put it this way. I know some people focused on him going to certain people. He's so-called investigating the state trooper, the police officer. I don't give a fuck about that. I give a fuck about the video I seen. I give a fuck about that Lacy was nowhere. He couldn't have. It's impossible. No way impossible. He helped or he was a part of the reason why this accident even happened. That's all I give a fuck about. I don't give a fuck what he did with the witnesses. All I know, he lied in the report. That's what I do know. Go read his report. He lied. He said Lacy caused the accident. That's the reason the two cars crashed, because he slammed on the brakes and that caused the accident. That shit don't even make any sense. Anyway, let's move on. And mind you, the accident happened in front of him, but somehow he slammed on the brakes. They got in a crash because of Lacy. Are you fucking kidding me? Let's move on.
Why they only show the part where he's following up on a statement that one of them had to give him? Because how would he know that Kyren Lacy was involved? How would the cop know that? He don't know all the details. Somebody told him.
We trying to figure out how he did that. But you said his words earlier that the people on the scene that was a part of the accident, the witnesses that was there, said that Lacy did it. It is nowhere in the goddamn police report that the witnesses saying that he did this shit. The officer said he did it from his investigation. Even the witnesses that he goes to try to get them to say that he slammed on the brakes, the guy says he had nothing to do with that fucking accident. It didn't cause it. It didn't make it happen. He says it in the video. One of the witnesses. What are you talking about? Let's move on.
Him that. And I would argue that what he was doing was making sure that the guy had documented what he told the officer before. To me, that's what it looks like to me. Is that
First of all, how you gonna go back? He's the cop. So he got the witnesses. He got the report from the witnesses that said about the accident, right? Now he doubles back and want them to put it in writing or what they seen. I mean, what they told him before in his report that he wrote, right? Now he goes to them to try to tell them what to say in the report, what they got to write down, their witness statements. Why would you do that? You just tell them, tell them right here what you actually seen at the scene. He's trying to tell them what to say in the report that the fucking witnesses, he want them to write down. Listen, people, none of this shit makes any goddamn sense. None of it makes any sense. And Brandon Tatum knows it doesn't make any sense, so he's just making up shit that didn't exist. You going to buy this cop that lied. We don't know why this cop lied. We still don't know why he lied. But we know he lied. I don't give a damn what the witnesses said. Even if they did say it, they lied. So somebody out of the witnesses and the police officer, one of them, in the mix of all of them, somebody lied. We know for a fact that the cop lied. But if what Brandon Tatum is saying, that means the witnesses lied. Because we've seen the video. But anyway, let's move on.
you don't have to tell the guy to lie. Why would they care? Why would the cop need to get Kyren Lacy in this? The cop probably don't even know Kyren Lacy.
We don't know nothing. We don't know why he did it. We haven't heard from the cop. We haven't heard from the police department or why this cop lied. We haven't seen any investigations or they probably doing it. We don't know. When they interviewed them, the DA, anybody, we don't know. We don't know why he lied. We don't know why he picked out Lacy. We don't know. But we know that the report is a lie. His report to get to the DA what was supposed to happen is a lie. Because the video shows it. So regardless if the witness said whatever they said, he's seen the video. He should have knew that the witnesses lied. But he did not do that. So we don't know why he lied on Lacy.
Was even involved in this because he didn't know his identity.
Here's how you can take advantage of IUL to build generational wealth. Step 1, purchase an index universal life insurance policy.
Was even involved in this because he didn't know his identity. Did he? They don't know who was driving his car because he wasn't there. The witnesses were telling them who drove the car. Roll the clip.
Was 76 yards behind the crash. This entire thing ruined this man's life.
Then you have Brianna Imani Gray. She was the one who caused the accident. She knew the truth the entire time and didn't say nothing. This whole story was sad. All these lies, they cost somebody their life. But being the decent human being you're supposed to be, you didn't speak up. Again, my prayers are for Lacy's family. A lot of people owe Lacy's family an apology. You all need to be sued.
But let this be a lesson to us all. Suicide should never be an option. If you and God know the truth, that's all that matters. Never give up on yourself.
All right, now let's get to what really happened. Now, we got a video that shows what the officers were explaining. And the video shows him flying at a high rate of speed on the wrong side of the road. Now, if a car is coming towards you at a high rate of speed and you go to deviate to avoid the accident, that's his fault, not yours. He's driving on the wrong side of the road. And you think he's going to come head on against you, so you go over and there's an accident that happened. But the reason that you see Kyren Lacy's vehicles show up a little bit after the accident happened, because he slammed on the brakes. When he was flying and the car went deviated and crashed, he slammed on the brakes. And then he coasted through, didn't stop, didn't try to assist, didn't do anything. He knew he had caused the accident, so he fled. And
He did not cause the goddamn accident. Brennan Tatum is lying. He's genuinely lying. Because listen to what he said. He said the car that was coming, and I guess that was the car of the black chick that supposed to swerved over because and hit the other car. And all right, this is a lane, right? And this is the other lane coming this way. I guess the car that the black woman was driving, and the older gentleman that God rest his soul, he passed away in this accident. She swerved over to hit him because she seen Lacy this far back. Right, this long. I'm just showing y'all a little thing. He's far away, and she swerves and hit this car because she's worried about Lacy flying at a high speed far, far away from her car, hitting from where she is. And she swerves over to the opposite lane to hit a car. First of all, people, if somebody's in the opposite lane, right? Coming, and you see them coming, you're like, what the fuck? You slow down. You don't swerve over to another fucking lane that's coming, a collision. Like you can get a collision doing that shit too. And that's what he's saying happened. Nobody swerves over and do that. You slow down. You don't swerve over to a head-on collision of a lane that's coming the opposite way of you. You slow down to see what the fuck this car is doing. If this is the case of what he's saying. But it's not the case. People, it is impossible that this woman swerved over to the opposite lane when he's that far back to avoid him. When it's a car way in front of him. Which was the car that she ran into. And all Lacy did was go around the shit. Not in the lane that where she was coming. He went around that. This dude is lying. We watched the video, bro. That just don't even make any sense. And I guarantee you, it's probably another camera around there that showed that had nothing to do with it. They just only releasing this one camera footage. It's bullshit. They covered this shit up. They tried to cover it up.
Many of you guys probably don't know this. I should have said at the beginning. Do you know how he lost his life? Do you know that he was in a high-speed chase with police and then he shot himself while fleeing from the police, then resulted in the crash? Did you know that?
It wasn't the same day of the crash. This was a whole nother different situation. And we still don't know the real about that shit. How are we going to trust the police at this point of giving us real evidence? Ever they got a corrupt cop, and I believe a lot of the head of the fucking department knew he was lying. I believe the DA knew he probably was lying. So why would we trust anything they say at this point? Listen, what the fuck do that got to do with the car crash? He didn't kill himself right away after this accident supposed to happen. We don't. First of all, what we do know, he got into it with his family members. He was upset. He probably was driving fast or whatever, mad, whatever. You know how people do. And the police probably tried to stop him, and he probably already fucked up in the head. Shit, they probably could have been arguing with him about talking about suicide. And he probably, you know, people can snap. And that's what happened. He went on a high-speed chase with the police because I guess he was, you know, driving real fast or whatever after he got into it with his family members. And then the police wound up seeing him, and he took him on a high-speed chase, and then he killed himself. That's what happened. So Brandon Tatum, what the fuck is that has to do with the accident of him was supposed to be somehow he was the reason that the accident even happened? What that got to do with anything? Because that didn't happen. Him committing suicide, going on a high-speed chase with the police had nothing to do. I'm talking about exactly with the car crash that we're talking about. And nobody else got hurt in this so-called high-speed chase and him committing suicide. He the only one died. But anyway, let's move on.
Why would this kid, if he was literally had nothing to do with this situation, he was driving down the road just minding his business and the crash happened and he just drove around like everybody else. Why would he even want to take his own life over this? Why would he even flee from?
Because listen, we can't see. You know what's bothering me. See, Brandon Tatum, this is what I mean. Shut your bitch ass up. See, this is why I don't like talking about people committing suicide, right? Because we don't know what's in the mind of somebody that do shit like that, right? I've been highly depressed way before, almost over a decade ago. When I thought about committing suicide, you don't know what the fuck somebody's going through, bro. So for you to try to like downplay, oh, if he wasn't guilty, why would he do it? It's almost saying that. Why would he do that if he don't think he had nothing to do with it? His life is fucked up. He's basically lost everything. He's supposed to be a fucking NFL quarterback. He's supposed to got drafted. His dreams is gone. You don't know what the fuck he was going through. And then you was being falsely accused of something you know you ain't do. You don't know what somebody's limit is. This nigga he always trying to justify bullshit. He has no empathy or sympathy. He always have like no empathy or sympathy when it comes to black folks. He just don't. Like this brother is listen. It's bad enough that this nigga is sitting here lying about what this man was being accused of. He's lying like the police lied. And this young brother is dead. Why are you trying to throw dirt on his grave? Why are you trying to piss on this young brother's grave like that? But then you got mad when we talked about Charlie Kirk ass. Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. This dude, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Least when they tried to arrest him. Why would he do that if he didn't even know what was going on? That's because there's more to the situation. Roll the clip real quick and you'll see the car zoom by and then he's going to slam on the brakes. Roll it. Look how fast he going. Go back. Look how fast he going past that white truck. Look at it. On the wrong side of the road. And then he's going to slam on his brake.
Actually, he's not on the wrong side of the road. He's blatantly lying. It's a 2-lane in this way. You got this lane, you got that lane. The white car that he's going past is on the other side of the lane. That's next to him. He's not going in the wrong direction. Even if he was going in the wrong direction, he was on the opposite side of the street, right? In the other part of the road coming this way, right? What the fuck did that got to do with the crash up ahead? He's nowhere near it. This dude is a fucking liar.
Because he noticed that he caused the car to crash.
He know he caused the fucking crash. If a crash in front of you happens, how did you do it? Regardless of where his speed was going, whatever his speed, he could have been speeding. We don't know, right? But we know the crash happened way in front of him. Listen, people, think about this, because he's talking about how fast he was going. He had enough to slow the fuck down. He had enough to slow down. I guess he wasn't going that goddamn fast. Like, if he was going so fast, how Brandon Tatum is saying, him hitting on the brakes would bring skid marks or something. You would hear that. You hear none of that. Brandon Tatum is blatantly lying. And then he's lying about him even actually being in he's basically lying, saying that he was going down the wrong side of the street. But let's just go off the narrative. Even if he was way too far back for this woman to swerve over to the other lane and crash into that white man's car and kill him. He was way too far for her to do that. There was no reason for her to swerve over there. It was no reason. Let's just go off the dumb narrative he's talking about. We looked at the video.
Play it back.
I'm gonna get TikTok messed up. These are 86% off right now. If you don't know what these are the Miniso over-the-ear earbuds. But the cool thing about these is that these are the...
According to the video timestamp, at 12:03 p.m. and 54 seconds, a portion of the crash can be seen as it occurs. Moments before the crash, the gold pickup truck abruptly veers out of the northbound lane into a business, while the green Charger is approaching in the same lane. Immediately after the crash occurred, the green Charger was observed on surveillance video and by witnesses traveling through the crash scene and continues north on LA 20, failing to stop.
Oh, you know what? I apologize. No, he was in the I apologize. He was, because it's a two-way, right? But mind you, it's a car. Oh, the white car that they talking about. The white car, it's a white car. The white car get the crash, right? But then it's another car behind it, right? That actually stops before Lacy. Before Lacy does. What he does, I don't know. Listen, I'm gonna put it this way. I can't tell you why he was in that lane, but what I do know, that crash happened almost 2 cars before him. The car that actually she crashed into, right? Excuse me. And another car behind it stopped before Lacy got there. And he slowed down and he swerved around it. The same way how Lacy went around the accident, if he was coming in the wrong lane or where that lady was coming from, she should have swerved over to the right instead of going to the left. And then I'm looking at this. Hold on. This shit don't make any sense either, because I'm trying to look at how the car is, because a collision like that, somebody to swerve over to another lane and hit somebody, this white car should not look like this. This car shouldn't look curved. It looked like, all right, this the lane, right? And this the other lane coming this way. It looked like the fucking white car, or one of these, well, we know one of the cars that was coming this way, and I believe that is, this shit doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make no sense. Because I'm trying to figure out, if I'm not mistaken, the white car that actually, if I'm not mistaken, the white, let me look this up real quick. Let me look something up real quick, because I want to be clear about this. The head-on collision in Kyle Lacy. Give me a second, y'all. I want to see something real quick. Because this will make more sense to me if I see this.
Police are suggesting there may be more to the story in a deadly crash involving an LSU football player. Keep in mind the timeline here. Police charged Kyren Lacy with negligent homicide back in January, saying his reckless driving led to this deadly crash. Lacy was never formally convicted because he died by suicide while waiting for his trial. Now, Lacy's attorney, remember we told you this last night, Lacy's attorney says he didn't do it. And he says this video you're about to see proves it. He says it shows Lacy was nowhere near the crash when it happened.
You're going to see multiple cars just making their way south to Thibodeau, coming from Battery. At some point in time, you're going to see the collision, which we're going to know is vehicle number 2 from oncoming traffic colliding with the vehicle of Mr. Hall. You will see another vehicle come to a stop, and then you'll see Kyren Lacy come to a stop.
That's that green car there, the green one seen at the end. Lacy's lawyer says he was more than 70 yards away from the crash when it happened.
Right, okay.
The state police,
Now, that's what I'm, yeah, and I need to see that. He lying. Because, like I had said, he could, listen, what it looked like is that Kyle Lacy, the only reason he even swerved over in the other lane to come, you know, because it's a two-way lane, right? Going this way, going that way, right? The only reason it seems like it makes sense to me, now it makes sense, because it was a white car, that a white SUV, the white car got hit, that had the accident with the other car, right? But the other SUV, right? Now, it's a white SUV right behind the other SUV, and I think it was like a gray SUV that was behind, that actually got in the accident with the white car, with the white girl, I mean the black chick that was in the white car, right? The elderly man that God rest his soul that got killed in the accident, he was in the gray one. They had the head-on collision, right? But even behind that was a white SUV. So when Lacy finally comes, maybe he's seen it from afar and he tried to swerve around it. And that's why he wound up ending up in that lane when he was coming. Because that makes more sense than what Brandon Tatum is talking about. Because it's very impossible for this woman to swerve over to another whole fucking lane where he's 2 cars behind. He's so much distance behind. Even if it was coming down her lane, he was way too far back for her to swerve over there. You most likely would swerve to the right, not to the left, into oncoming traffic. You would swerve because it's, you know, it was a way she could have swerved because Lacy was so far back. She could have swerved and went to a gas station, like swerved over to the right instead of swerving over to incoming traffic, where she wound up hitting the gray SUV with the older white man in it. None of this shit makes any sense. None of it does. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, people, I'm back. Shout out to my brother Bella in the building. What up, bro? Listen, man, none of that shit makes any sense, bro. It's impossible for him to cause that accident. Now, listen, because that black, we really need to know what was that black lady's statement. What happened in her car, because it looked like to me maybe she, for like a split second, because it does happen when people are fucking around in their phone or they doing something in the car and they wind up drifting to the opposite side of the lane. That happens. I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm saying that looked like more what happened. It's impossible, even if Lacy was coming down her lane the opposite way, she had way more time to slow the fuck down or swerve. That's all I'm saying. None of this shit makes any sense. Like I said, the bad part about this shit is all a freak accident. In a way, right? It just looks that way. But Lacy got blamed because he swerved all the way around. He was even in the other lane when he swerved around it. Like, I guess he swerved around the opposite lane. He probably could have seen the accident happen and he slowed down and then he kind of, riding and he seen the accident happen and it's a car in front of him because it's only a two-way street and he could have seen it and he could have swerved over there at that time to avoid the collision or just to get around it. That seems like more of what happened. It's impossible for the lady to say she swerved over to the incoming traffic, the other lane, to avoid him, that he's damn near 2 cars back from her. She has the collision, and it's a white it's a white SUV behind the gray SUV of the crash, the one that actually had the crash with the elderly guy in it. He's behind 2 cars. She's behind 2 cars in a way. Well, in front of 2 cars. So how the fuck did you swerve all the way to the left to avoid damn near 2-3 cars back from you? Let's move on.
Hey, did you see the green Charger flying that way? A green Charger that going that way? It was a green Charger. That's a green Charger that caused all that. SRTA, he caused all that. He went to pass the car way back there. The green Charger collided with these cars. He went right. He went around that truck. Okay. He was passing away with her, and she had no choice. She hits the ball. How the injuries? What she got a broken ankle.
That's bullshit. That bullshit, and that's the thing. And that's the witnesses are lying. She had no other choice but to swerve over into incoming traffic. And I'm looking at where she is. She could have went into the grass. It's a lie. She talking about she had no other choice. Yes, she did. Even if they saying Lacy is this green thing, green Charger, whatever it was, right? He was coming down her lane. She could have swerved another way. And let me tell y'all something. What could have been a part of the situation too? Right? This happens all the time. People could be in front of you driving slow. This could have been, I'm just saying this is why if Lacy was driving in her lane or coming in the incoming traffic lane, right? Somebody driving slow, you trying to get around them. And that could have been the reason that he probably was even driving a little fast, because he probably was trying to go around the car in front of him. Just being real. Like I said, it could be just a tragic shit that happened, but the way they tried to railroad this kid was bullshit. And then you got people on the scene lying. So she had no other choice but to swerve to hit somebody else in the opposite lane that's coming in front of her. Coming towards her, I'm sorry. When I'm looking at the scene, it's so much shit on the right-hand side to where she can swerve over. To avoid if Lacy coming down her lane or not. So that's bullshit. Mind you, ain't no cars behind her either. There's no cars behind her. I'm going to tell y'all what I believe probably happened. Two things could have happened. Like I said, Lacy could have been, the reason he probably was in the opposite lane because he was trying to get around a car. And that's why he was in the opposite lane like that. And maybe she panicked and swerved to the left. But that shit is crazy too because he's so far back. You only thing is to go to the left to where another car is coming that's that damn close. That car was mad close when she hit it. It wasn't like no shit that where she was in the opposite lane and it had the guy that was coming in that lane could have slowed down. It's almost like she did that. Lacy was way too far for her to go and do that to the left. But let's just say that happened. Or the other thing happened. She was on a goddamn phone. She was doing something in her car she had no business doing. People always tell you, do not be fucking with your phone while you driving. People die that way. That could have what happened. That could have what has happened. And then these motherfuckers that's on the scene just lying. They don't know why she did what she did. But I believe the first thing happened. I believe Lacy was trying to get around like a lot of people do in those type of situations to go around people they driving slow. And that's probably why he was riding so fast, maybe, right? And she panicked when she seen it, but it was some distance because she had plenty of time to slow the fuck down and swerve off to the right. She had plenty of time. Plenty of goddamn time. But she maybe panicked and swerved to the left instead of the right. Listen, that makes more sense to me. Now, if that's the case, I can see how you can say Lacy has something to do with it. But from him just leaving the accident and swerving around it, I don't think that he thought that he had anything to do with it. That's why he left the scene. I genuinely believe that he didn't think he did anything. And so that's why he swerved around and went around it. Actually, the way he swerved around was the way that she's supposed to win. If he was coming down in her lane. Just saying. Just saying. But let's move on.
Going back injuries and then
Man, this is why y'all follow me. I'm just giving you a hit. The witnesses are saying that the green Charger caused the accident. The witnesses are saying, all of them out here are saying that the green car, that she had no choice but to veer into the other lane because the green Charger was flying up the road and kept going. the cop didn't see nothing, but they are the ones saying that this happened, not the police.
Okay, fine. That's fine. Now, what if they're lying? That's a whole nother thing. Then mind you, just think about this. The video that he don't want to show is the cop lying to the witnesses that was there and saying, make sure you say that he slammed on his brakes and basically caused the accident. How can he slam on the brakes and cause the accident when the accident already happened? But he won't talk about that. But anyway, let's move on.
So he's not out here telling people to make up something on a case report. They are telling him the green charger did this, this, and this, and that. And then he goes and reminds the guy as he's writing a statement, make sure you write in that he hit the brakes and did all this stuff that you told me at the scene. Not one person at the scene.
That is not what he said. You heard? Brandon saying, why you lying, bro? I listened to the black dude that he wound up going to go see. That was the one dude said he had no choice, the green charger, whatever. He said that. But when the cop went to go and I guess, make sure he write down his report, the witness, the guy, he's intention. Matter of fact, let me find a clip. Let me find a clip. Like, you can't make this shit up. That's why I said, Brother Tatum, why you gotta lie, bro? Excuse me. Oh, shit. My bad, people. Let me see. The witness talking to the police about the Kyle Lacy accident.
The witness talking to the police about the Kyle Lacy.
Hold on, maybe I got it wrong. Hold on. The police talking to the witness in the Kyle Lacy case.
The police talking to the witness in the Kyle Lacy case.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Because I want to find that clip of what that guy said. When that police officer went to him and talked to him. Let me see. Shit. They're not showing. They're just showing that one. The body cam footage of the police officer in the Kyle Lacy case. It's not
the
popping
body cam footage of the police officer in Kyle Lacy.
Okay. I think I got it. Hold on. Yeah, I think that's it. Let me see. Make sure it's the right one. Shit.
So what happens to that state police officer that tried to push that witness into saying something on a report that he didn't see? What happens?
Just right here, if you could, I'll just have you write.
Okay. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me put this on real quick. Because I want y'all to understand what this police officer did. Now, mind you, you heard what the guy said when he was on the scene. But listen to what the police officer says to him on body cam footage when he goes to get the guy to write down what he's seen. Give me a second. Listen.
But what happens to that state police officer that tried to push that witness into saying something on a report that he didn't see? What happens to him?
Just right here, if you could, I'll just have you write exactly what you saw. Just make sure to include, where you were.
I don't even know where that is.
It's Highway 20. Highway 20. That you just. All right, name my way going through that. Okay, just make sure you add in there that you have to slam on your brakes and the brakes you have to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's. Man, speed mark, I guess that I wasn't even going for. That lady in the back of me, she didn't know what happened. That's how she caused that wreck. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side. Mm-hmm. So, but the charger was coming right at you, correct? And that's why you had to slam on your brake, head on with you. So yeah, just
now, mind you, that's the same witness that was with Brandon Tatum show that said she had no choice, right? Now the witness. That's why I said we don't even know if the witness is saying anything true or not. The witness said to the police officer, the lady in front of me he was behind her. She the one caused the accident. This is now what the witness is saying. Mind you, the clip that Brandon Tatum showed, the witness was saying it was Lacy's fault. She had no choice. So what is it? Let's go back. Listen to what he said. He said, I don't even remember what happened.
But what happens to that state police officer that tried to push that witness into saying something on the report that he didn't see? What happens to him?
Just right here, if you could, I just have you write exactly what you saw. Just make sure to include, where you were. I don't even know where the highway. It's Highway 20. Highway 20. That you just. All right, name my way going through that. Okay, just make sure you add in there that you have to slam on your brakes and the brakes you have to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
That's not what happened. You see how the cop said, make sure you say that you had to slam on the brakes. No. You let the witness, if he can't remember too much of what, see, and this is what happens too. They should have did a follow-up of the witnesses to make sure before they, see what they did was, I'm trying to figure out when he did, hold on. Let me see something. So he did do a follow-up. But it was a minute. And people old and shit, they forget. But you don't push a witness to say what happened. That's why this whole shit is fishy. The police officer should have never said that. He should have never said, make sure you put in that you had to slam on your brakes. Trying to tell them what they need to say or what they remember. All right, you said this, but if you can remember exactly what happened, put in what you said. The guy already said he don't even remember too much. So he's not a witness that you want to put on the goddamn stand. Because he can't even remember what he's seen. Listen, people go to jail. Innocent people go to jail because of eyewitnesses that the police use. Listen, my whole thing is I don't give a damn what the witnesses say to a certain extent, right? Because you do got to take in what they say to a certain extent. But when you watch the video, it's impossible for that lady to swerve over to the left like that when Lacy is that far away back, even if he was in her lane, coming towards her. She should have did what Lacy did. He went around her to his left, but her right. Which she should have went to the right. If that was the case, he wound up going around them. Listen, and let me just say this: everybody ain't good Samaritans either, people. Okay, we need to put that out there to people. Everybody ain't good Samaritans. Everybody ain't stopping to help people because of something fucked up happened. It's just real talk. We live in a selfish country. People don't give a fuck about others like that. A lot of people in this country don't care about other people or tragic accidents and shit. They don't. But let's move on.
Okay. That ain't in the back of me. She didn't know what happened. That's how she called directly. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side.
Mm-hmm. So, but the charger was coming right at you, correct? And that's why you had to slam when you break the head on with you. So yeah, just make sure you include that, and that's very important because we're trying to locate this charger right now. So just include that in the statement, and I'll read it over, and then I'll be out of here.
And the answer to that is absolutely nothing because the state police has already responded, and they said the investigation findings revealed that Mr. Lacy's reckless driving while approaching oncoming traffic led to the events of the crash. The findings were presented to the 17th Judicial District Court, which approved an arrest warrant based on the evidence collected. When you have a state police officer trying to pressure a witness into saying something that he didn't see, to the point where that witness decides he's not going to make a statement, and then that police officer write a statement of his own, and then refuse, and then turn it in as evidence, that is no longer evidence. So then my next question is, what happens to the woman that lied, that actually was just tailgating so she swerved into traffic? What happens to her? And the answer to that is nothing, because if they did, they would have to actually take this back.
That makes a big... I told y'all it's bigger than that. So the guy that said he witnessed what happened, he actually... Because I didn't see that on video. Believe it or not, you can't really see that. The guy swerved to the right, like I told y'all. She was on his ass. I guess he swerved off, and she stopped, or she went to the left. She panicked because she was on his bumper too much. So Lacy had nothing to do with why she swerved. He was actually in front. He swerved because he seen Lacy coming. She was so close on him, on his bumper, that she swerved when he swerved to do what he did, she was so much on him, and that happens. You panic, you basically kind of like really push on your brakes. You don't fucking swerve to the left or to the right. You actually push on your brakes if you're too close to somebody, or you ain't paying attention, or you bumper riding. You usually hit your brakes. So really, she probably should have gotten an accident with the dude that was actually in front of her. That was so-called a witness that swerved to the right. Because for some weird reason, not weird reason, he says Lacy was coming down the wrong street. But I told y'all, most likely he was coming down the wrong side of the street because maybe he was trying to get around somebody. And that happens in traffic. Right? But did he really cause it? No, because the lady that wound up causing the collision, she went, instead of she going right, or not even going, she could have went right. She was tailgating the car that was in front of her. She should have just hit her brakes, but she swerved left and hit the great SUV with the elderly gentleman in it, and he wound up dying. So really, it's on her. That's why the dude is saying she caused the accident. Because she was riding too close on my bumper. Listen, it's a lot of people's fault. If this is the case of what this guy is saying. But, yeah, listen. You can say, yeah, it's part of Casey had a little issue with that, but the charge him with murder is bullshit. And I guarantee you, Lacy, the reason he even left the scene, because why he didn't think he had anything to do with it. Because the accident happened in front of him 2 to 3 cars before him. So he didn't think he caused the accident. The reason, now it makes sense now. I told you, that lady, she's responsible. I told you she had to have been on her phone or something for her to swerve left like that. Nobody swerves left if you see somebody coming down your lane. You usually stop or slow down, stop, or you start swerving to the right. You never swerve left if somebody's coming down your lane. Unless, like, nobody does that. Now it makes sense. It makes sense now. But anyway, let's get back into Brandon Tatum. Let me get the clip back, people. Goddamn commercial, man. Come on, man.
He goes and reminds the guy as he's writing a statement, make sure you write in that he hit the brakes and did all this stuff that you told me at the scene. Not one person at the scene is saying that anybody else was responsible for this accident except the green Charger. And let me just explain how this works from a police officer's perspective just real quick. A cop comes to the scene of an accident. They don't go to the convenience store to look at the camera.
Yeah, but my thing is, from what we just heard from the witness, the black dude, he was in front of the lady. She was riding this bumper. So it says, just say that Lacy coming down the wrong way of the street for whatever reason. He sees that. She's on his ass. He's watching her. Listen, he's not just saying that. Well, he should have said that in this thing, but I guess, emotions run high. Everybody, whatever. She been on his bumper for a minute. You just don't make that up. Now, he probably maybe panicked because maybe he probably thought that he had something to do with the accident, right? Because he swerved off to the right. And she swerved to the left, because he swerved or slowed down or whatever he did. So really the guy that was in front of her really kind of, in a way, caused the accident. But she is responsible too because she riding this bumper. That's what he's saying. So he says 2 different conflicting stories. He says the one consistent thing was that he says that Lacy was coming down his lane. I believe that. But why was Lacy coming down that lane? Was he trying to get around? What? We don't know why, because the cop did what all he did and just took this shit and tried to charge him. Like, we don't even know. Like, we don't know nothing. What's going on, Ashley, babe? What's going on? What's going on, C7? What's going on? Listen, all the shit is conflicting. But the one denominator in this case is the police officer and the DA. It should have been a more thorough investigation. It should have been more. And I still highly doubt that this DA did not see the video. The surveillance video. I'm still trying to figure out, how did Lacy even how did y'all even say he had anything to do with it? When we see the crash, it's now we know the guy that one of the witnesses that the cop was trying to get to say certain shit, he was in front of the goddamn lady that actually wound up having the wreckage with the other SUV on the opposite lane. She swerved over there. And then the guy says, and maybe I didn't miss hearing it, but he says she was riding my bumper. She caused the goddamn accident. So I'm trying to figure out how the cop takes this and the DA takes that and say, we're going to charge Lacy for this. This is crazy. Crazy. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, people, I'm back. None of this shit makes any sense to me. And it seemed like the police and the district attorney didn't do a good job. Like it was like, and listen, and they could have got pressure from the family. That could have happened too, and that's why they rushed the judgment and did what they did and didn't investigate very good, or the DA didn't, whatever. But that's still not it's still not good. Like I don't understand why they didn't do a better investigation. Like where's the statement from Lacy of saying what he thought happened? Like I like that's what I'm saying. We only got like little bits and pieces, and we just only got the fucking police officer and some of these witnesses. This, especially this one witness, he's sitting here. His story changes. He says something totally different on the scene, and then when the police officer come to him later, he almost switches his whole fucking statement. He actually doesn't even blame the great charge. I mean, he's still blaming Lacy, but he's blaming a lady too that actually got in the accident, saying she was riding on my bumper. She was way too fucking close. But let's move on.
They don't have any reason to look at the camera. They're responding to a crash. They don't know how the crash started. This is where the crash is located. They don't know
that got nothing to do with. See, brother, tell me, God damn it, you fucking buffoon. Talking about they don't have no reason to go look at the cameras. That's bullshit. It's an investigation. You supposed to. This was the police supposed to do. He's a liar, and you're a former police officer. You're a damn liar, and you just switched up and you lied. First of all, you get the witness statements. If the police are in there, I told you they only come when shit happens. After shit happens, okay? They don't help prevent crime or incidents or accidents, right? So you get there as the police officer, you get everybody's statements. Okay, cool. Now what you do as a fucking police officer, that you are the investigator at this point, right? You start looking around like, okay, we got these statements. I mean, a rational human being would think this. You think there's any cameras? I'll be talking to the police. You think some cameras around here? Let's see if what's the name of them. Let's see if this station got, this gas station and these businesses got cameras. And then you start to go around and get camera footage. Now, we don't know. This is one thing we don't know. We don't know when the police officers or this police officer decided to, you know what? Let me go and see surveillance tape. Surveillance, see if there's some surveillance around this accident. But whenever they figured it out, they started to do their fucking job. He did his job, was doing his goddamn job. He finally goes and sees the video. Now, you could be biased too. The witness is saying this, and now you get the surveillance tape, and it shows that Lacy is coming down the wrong lane. But if you make rational and you don't be biased, you can see the crash already happened way before Lacy even popped up in the picture. So it was very impossible for her to swerve over to the left. And now the witness, when you go to the first time, he says he still says it was Lacy's fault. That's why he went off to the right. Right? Now, he says the lady behind him was riding this bumper that wound up committing the accident. Wound up having the accident happening. So he gave two conflicting stories. Why would you give that to the DA? That means you got to investigate more. The witnesses are giving conflicted evidence. It's on body cam. Let's move on.
Look on any cameras. So they go to the scene first. They get statements first. In a follow-up investigation, now that there's a third-party car that evaded the scene, they have to go and find out where this car is located. And then they go to the store and get surveillance. And they got to sit there for hours trying to figure out what the time is, and the time's off. And they go back and watch it. Then they have to get them to either record.
First of all, they don't have to do that because they already got the goddamn time of when the accident happened in the police report when they put it in the police report. So they ain't got to sit there and wait and watch unless the camera, it look like the cameras ain't all that good, but they ain't up to date. I tell people, always update your fucking cameras, man. The cameras are so goddamn, getting cameras are so cheap. And you can get good quality cameras. Or just spend money on good cameras. God damn. Fuck. But anyway. No, you don't have to sit there for hours. No, you don't. Unless they got some bullshit camera system. Everything goes. But I guess we're talking about these rural towns. These motherfuckers is poor shit, and so that's why they camera footage look like shit. Fuck out of here. It don't, like, why the fuck, why has anybody even got DVDs or everything should be in the cloud, nigga? Fuck going on? But anyway, let's move on. Anyway. People, I found out very quickly what happened to my goddamn car. When I told you the pumpkin went out. Look on the camera, look back, already knew what happened. Don't take that goddamn long. No fucking hours. Let's move on.
Owner, they got to get them to give them the DVR recording of that incident. Then they got to take it to the crime lab and all this other stuff. I'll put it in the evidence. But everybody got out and made it such a deal because he was black. Stop doing that.
On Monday night's Sports Center.
First of all, we supposed to pretend that he ain't black? Listen. we made it about his race. First of all, his race matters, regardless, even in the beginning. Because you probably seen social media people when this shit first happened, racist ass white people was making it about race. If they can make it about race, why the rest of us can't? Oh, this white man, and the white man got killed. Now, let me explain something to you. Nobody talked about that black woman. You notice that because all the deflection went to that black man. Because everybody said, oh, he's the reason everything happened. Okay, cool. But we don't get to ignore his race. He was getting railroaded. Let's move on.
I addressed the horrific car crash that took Mr. Hall's life and also the subsequent tragic events that led to the death of Kyren Lacy. In full transparency, y'all, I knew Kyren Lacy personally, but nothing matters to me more than the truth. I always strive to do my best to mix authenticity with the most complete and up-to-date information available. I failed to do that.
Now, mind you, and let me explain something to people. Kyle Lacy, God rest his soul, he always denied that he had anything to do with that goddamn accident. He never said like, oh, listen, and this is what I mean, because I know they got his statement. That's the shit I want to see. What did he say about him even being in that lane? We still don't have that evidence. We still don't have nothing he said about that. Let's move on.
Monday night, based on the subsequent evidence that has been released by the Louisiana State Police Department. I set the highest standards of fairness and, most importantly, righteousness in my work. I didn't meet that standard. But since I've spoken to Kyren's representation at length, and I've also reached out to a representative at the state police office just to have a conversation. They informed me this morning that because it's ongoing litigation, they actually can't divulge anything else. It's always important to me that I gather all factual and important information to provide the complete story. That's a responsibility.
And listen, and let me just say this too. That's what bothers me even about when these police chiefs or whoever they are, or district attorneys, and they all come out and they speak on an incident, almost coming off as they trying to be transparent. You can't be fully transparent when a case is ongoing. So how much real shit you gonna really put out? That's why I said a lot of times people are quick to judge shit because of, and it's mainly because of these fucking police chiefs and these district attorneys come out doing press conferences and shit when they need to shut the fuck up. But then when shit get a little weary, all of a sudden we can't talk about it. Well, why the fuck would y'all even come out and talk about it in the first place? You ain't gonna give out all the details. Or we just telling you what we know? I don't give a fuck what you know. Because at the end of the day, they're not going to tell you everything. So don't even tell me. Let us find out in court. When you finally say my investigation is done, I get to this journey, all the process go through the grand jury, everything, then you can come out and explain to me what the evidence is, what you got. When they come out willy-nilly and start speaking about shit that they know they can't talk about because they don't know everything and they ain't got all the evidence, and then some of the evidence they can't even talk about that they do have because they don't know if it's credible or not. That's why it's very, very, very inappropriate, I believe, for district attorneys and police chiefs to come out and start talking about investigations. And I know the people in society we live now, we all want this so-called transparency. But no, bro, because it leads to people just like Brandon Tatum and a whole bunch of others that assumed that this dude was guilty. Listen, when this happened, everybody said, even Ron Clark said this bullshit. Like, dude, nah, man, you did that, you know, he got to face justice. Because of the little evidence that we had, we knew of. And Ron Clark made that mistake. We all make that mistake because the prosecutor and the police department putting out statements that they shouldn't be putting out. So everybody jumped to conclusions. But, you know, it is what it is. Let's move on.
Not take lightly. And when discussed in real time on Monday evening, I failed to do so. And for that.
Oh, and let me say this too. I believe the young brother, I feel bad he killed himself, and I feel bad that the older white man died in this situation. Right? But I'm still confused of what really happened. Because, or part of me is confused. Because we don't know everything. We still don't. Even though that older white man, he's dead, and Lacy killed himself, we still don't know everything. It's like they putting bits and pieces out here to trigger people. Like, no, put everything out. They're both dead. The case, you can't charge nobody, put it out. But they won't put it out, all of it out, is because I'm telling you, the witnesses look bad. And I'm going to say this from what we do know and have, right? That we do know. The police look bad, and the district attorney looks bad. And that's why they ain't putting out everything. It's more shit that we don't know or why this shit happened. But I'm still as confused as I was in the beginning of this shit. But I know the police lied. And we don't even know why the police lied. Because now they so-called doing an investigation of the fucking police officer investigation of this case. Are you fucking kidding me? And they hoping this shit gets swept under the rug. Because listen, if it's the cops or if it's the cops or it's the witness or it's the DA, somebody need to be accountable for what happened to this young man and to the victim too, which is the white elderly man. Somebody need to be accountable for this shit. We got 2 deaths. Come on, man. Don't forget that the first person that died was the goddamn dude that got the elderly white dude that got killed in an accident. Don't forget that, people. Brandon Tatum might always keep talking. You talking about race, nigga? He white. I give a fuck. I want his family to get justice. If it was just a tragic accident, I get it. But no, something fishy about how he died. All this shit is fishy. If I'm their family, I'm the family of this elderly man. I think he was a vet or something too. Like, nigga, like, what the fuck? Did we blame the wrong dude? Or did we not? I mean, what the fuck? And now he's dead. So they grieving And they might still feel guilt because they assume that Lacy was the reason that their family member is dead and gone. It looks more and more to me that the woman that actually swerved to the left that caused the accident, to me, it seemed like she caused the accident. It seemed like she's the one that did it. Now, we can say she was riding the bumper too close, whatever. I'm not saying she intentionally, most likely swerved over there. But sometimes you can make mistakes of driving and wind up killing somebody. That happens a lot. And that doesn't mean that she's a bad person. It just means you might have fucked up. And sometimes people know they kind of fuck up and they do a scapegoat, and it looks like they did it with Lacy. Listen, people, this whole thing could just be everybody fucking fault that's involved. The witnesses, the black sister, other than maybe the veteran, the white dude, the elderly white dude that passed away, it ain't his fault. But everybody outside of that, the police, the DA, Lacy, the witnesses, I said the witnesses, they all could be a part of what happened. And like I said, you could, like, sometimes you may just gotta chalk some shit like this up as just a freak accident. It happens. It just happens in life. And like I said, I'm just still more confused of what happened. Because you can blame damn near everybody other than the guy that lost his life. You could gotta blame Lacy because it looks like he might have was in the wrong lane. He may was trying to get around some shit. We don't know. The lady riding the dude bumper, he swerved off to the right. She so close. It probably had nothing to do with Lacy because she probably didn't know. She probably so focused on the motherfucker that swerved off, she swerved to the left. You feel me? So, listen, and I'm not saying, listen, we just don't know all the evidence. All this shit don't seem right. It don't look right. It don't feel right. So we missing some shit. Not just one thing. We missing some things in this story.
I apologize. Last week, the attorney for former LSU football player Kyren Lacy released a video challenging the version of events Louisiana State Police used to cite Lacy in a December auto accident, which claimed the life of 78-year-old Herman Hall. On Tuesday, state police released a video and records defending their initial findings that alleged Lacy's operation of the vehicle created a chain of events that resulted in the crash that claimed Hall's life. Lacy's car is seen moving at a high rate of speed in the wrong lane just prior to the incident. Lacy faced several charges, including felony negligent homicide, but died by suicide days before a grand jury was set to convene, meaning his guilt or innocence will not be tried in a criminal court. The one certainty here is that this was a senseless tragedy in December, and it's magnified by a second life lost in April. I apologize for the incomplete reaction that aired on this show.
You deserve the best. At Harbor Freight, you can afford it. We design our own.
April. I apologize for the incomplete reaction that aired on this show on Monday night.
Yes, please. And listen, and I don't listen, and that's the part about the media too, right? It's not fully their fault because if, like I told you, the DA and the goddamn police department is putting out statements, and you only can kind of go off of that. You don't really know everything. That's why it's very It's inappropriate for them to even put out statements or release things. Like, yo, just let the fucking process happen. But like I said, it's a part of we live in a time now where everybody need answers. For what, it doesn't matter what it is. But what you can do sometimes is spread misinformation, not on purpose. Sometimes you can just spread misinformation about a situation that you don't have all evidence about. That's the real reason why I don't like talking about shit that I don't know the full facts of everything. But everybody want to get out and speak and cover a story. Like, but nah, yo, you can fuck people's lives up. Especially if you got very big platforms. Like, where's the responsibility as us, as people that have platforms, and we do things, and we put out things that we don't have the full evidence of? You can ruin people's lives. You can, to this point, I believe what happened, social media, life, happened to the young brother Lacy. Shit was happening to him, you know, it probably made him commit suicide. We all kind of got a part into this shit. Because we are, a part of us are being reckless. Because we want to put a story out, get some views, make some money. Like, yo, come on, bro. Like, do we really care about people's lives or we don't? Anyway, man, God rest the young brother Lacy's soul, and God rest the white gentleman that passed away in that accident. And condolences go out to his family and the Lacy family, man. We at this point we still don't know. We still don't know what really happened. We still really don't know, people, who's really responsible. We just don't really know. We know the police lied. We know, listen, even if we say the police didn't lie, right? They mishandled this. Some negligence happened on their part. Even the DA. Like, where's your responsibility to really figure out what the fuck really happened? Don't you got to investigate? Sad, man.
I make your point. I did want to clear space for this.
1 second.
This is important.
Yes, guys, Kyren Lacy was supposed to be in the NFL. Kyren Lacy was accused of something and being investigated for something that he didn't do, and he died having to live with the guilt and the consequences of a guilty man knowing he was innocent. It recently was discovered that he was 72 yards away from the crash, that police and state policemen tried to coerce and doctor and use ways to manipulate statements that put this young man behind bars. They changed his joy, they changed his life, and eventually he took his own life. This was supposed to be a career, but at least he was supposed to be here. At some point throughout his career, I would expect to have said his name. So I'm going to say his name tonight.
Amen.
Kyren Lacy was innocent. Kyren Lacy should be here with us. Nothing will ever repair or replace the pain that his parents have to feel and his loved ones have to feel. But we could say his name. There were so many stations that ran the fact that he was being investigated. So I wanted to make sure here with Scott, we could say that he was an innocent man and at least know that he has that as he rests.
You and I talked about this earlier tonight, and I'll just share with them what I share with you. I can't recall ever seeing something that made me react viscerally to the point that I felt like my hands were trembling to think that there's video that shows that this is not at all what happened. And that young man took his life. And so I will not say anymore. It's your thoughts here. I just wanted to echo.
Thank you very much.
No. And my apologies for forgetting that, because this is a more important thing than we're talking about tonight. Right, Clark? I appreciate it.
But everybody got out and made it such a deal because he was black. Stop doing that. A cop ain't gonna just make up. I mean, they could, but rarely a cop is gonna make up something. And
First of all, it's not really. Cops do that all the time. They make up shit. It's not a rare thing that cops lie in police reports. Are you fucking kidding me? He's blatantly just being disingenuous. Like, what are you talking about? Don't just lie like that. Oh, it's very rare that police officers lie in police reports. Come on, man. What up, man? We listen. This shit is we seen they lie in police reports. It's not a rare thing. They always lie. What the fuck are you talking about? ICE right now lying in police reports. What the fuck you talking about? Just always. Why would you lie like that? It's very rare that they do that. That's bullshit. That's a crock of shit. Crock of shit. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, people, I'm back. Like you know what's more disturbing of what he's saying about cops lying and stuff like that is that you know him as a former police officer. He know that they lie, and that's the bad part about it. But the other part is that I've been a victim of that shit, of police officers lying. I've been a victim of it. So, for him to sit there and pretend and you a police officer, is because that's why he said it's very rare. So you know it happens, right? You know it happened, number one, but somebody that been a victim of it. Let's say he never did it. Fine, that's cool. I'm a victim of police officers doing that. So who would y'all take more of or believe in? Me, that been a victim of that shit, or a motherfucker that just say he didn't do it when he was a police officer. But he do acknowledge it's rare that it does happen. And I'm telling you, police officers do that shit all the time. They make up shit. They put verbiage in their reports to cover their ass. That's a fact. You seen it now. These motherfucking ICE agents are lying in reports. We watching the shit on video, and the motherfucker say, oh, that didn't happen. Or the reason why we did what we did, because they did this. And we watched the goddamn video, and that didn't happen. Let's move on.
Sounds so bizarre because they are acting as if this kid had nothing to do with nothing, and none of the witnesses said anything. The cop just wanted to get a black man. Kyren Lacy knew he was wrong. It's unfortunate. I hate the brother took his life. He knew he was wrong. That's why he left the scene. He knew he was wrong. That's why when they went to pull him over, he fled the police.
You did not know. First of all, You don't know that. That's a lie. You're assuming he knew. You don't know that. See, this is what I mean about pushing misinformation. I'm not saying, listen, it's very possible that I believe it's a small possibility that he left the scene knowing he did something wrong. Small percentage. Because nobody's 100% because we don't know all the evidence. And so that's why I'm saying it's a possibility that he left the scene and he kind of felt that maybe he did something wrong. I'm not denying that. What I'm saying is, from the evidence that we do have, it doesn't look like that a high percentage wise, it doesn't look like he left the scene thinking he did something wrong. And then he said he took his life because he felt like he did something wrong. Listen, first of all, let me say this. If that's the case, then a lot of motherfuckers that actually intentionally commit crimes should kill themselves. It will be a high percentage of it. It's not. It's not a high percentage of people that have committed crimes and they know they did it. They don't commit suicide. Shit, the motherfucking the dude that killed Charlie Kirk, he talked about killing himself, right? But he wasn't gonna kill himself. Listen, a lot of times people in that type of situation, different types of situations that somehow they committed the crime or they might have not did it, right? It's a very small percentage of those people that actually commit suicide. You rarely hear, like, it's not like this big thing, this phenomenon of people committing crimes, even if they intentionally did it, the evidence there, they know they did it, that they willing to kill themselves. That's a very, very small percentage of people. Listen, we don't, at the end of the day, let's just be real about this. Because I want to be very sensitive of how I speak about this young brother committing suicide. Suicide is not shit to joke about. And I heard the one brother in this clip where he was playing, he was saying suicide ain't the way to go and all that. Nigga, shut the fuck up. You talking on some religious bullshit. You don't know what somebody's limit is. Regardless of we know religious people commit suicide. So that's just bullshit. Don't bring that up. I don't like that people commit suicide. Right? I've been close to doing it. So I get it. I understand. But on the opposite side of that, I never judge people that commit suicide. You never know what the fuck mentally they're going through. And for anybody, and I don't give a fuck who you are, religious, not religious, whatever, for you to come out and say, oh, suicide is not that's not the way to do it and all this. Man, fuck you. You don't know what their limit is. You don't know that. So stop. It's one of those things. It's like rape. Like, think about it. It's rape victims that wind up committing suicide. You're going to tell them rape victims that, hey, that's not the way to do it? Are you fucking kidding me? You don't know what somebody's limit is mentally. And everybody ain't as strong as everybody. Everybody don't make it out of, even like somebody like me that thought about committing suicide. Everybody does not have the people around them or the strength to not do it. When you feel like everything is gone, you have nothing. I can tell you this. I can tell y'all this, to be very honest about this shit when it comes to suicide. Or even wanting to, right? You at your low. You at to the point where you feel nobody cares about you. Nobody. And you may have people around you telling you that they care about you, they love you, they're there for you. But in your mind, you feel like nobody cares about you. You feel like, why am I here? Nobody cares about me. And I'm very passionate about this shit because I told you. And I always be honest with people about this shit. Suicide. I was there. I was very close to doing it. I was never, listen, and I think a part of who I am in a little bit, I never was afraid of death. So it was, for me, suicide was easy for me because I never was afraid of it. So that's a part of people that commit suicide. That's a part of how they think. Right? Listen, when people commit suicide, I try not to judge that shit. Because, or people that commits it. Because you really don't get it. Outside motherfuckers really don't get that. How you can feel so lonely and feel like nobody cares. Or a motherfucker that be, this is like going on a suicide mission. You know it's a very possibility that you go and do some shit, you ain't gonna survive. So you okay with dying. I believe motherfuckers like me that been to that, but even before I wanted to commit suicide, I think I tried to commit that shit plenty more times. Because I did reckless shit that I didn't give a fuck about my life. And I wasn't scared of dying. That's suicide. I think I probably tried to commit suicide a lot of times and didn't even realize it. And then and like I said, and sometimes people, it was like, motherfucker, they ain't think about people around them and think about their kids. Nothing like that. Listen, they do think about that. They do think about that shit. They just feel like people are better off without them. And I know to some people that don't make sense to you. But if you ain't never been in that position, you can't judge it. You can't. I'm sorry. You can't judge that shit. I've been there. And I get it. That don't mean I agree with it, but I get it. I get how people can get there. I was there before. So no, I don't judge people that commit suicide. I don't. And the reason I don't do that is because of the simple fact I've been there. I've been close to doing it. I probably did it way more times than I even acknowledged it, that I put myself in suicide situations where I didn't, you just randomly put yourself in crazy situations, then you know you can die. Like, that's suicide. That's suicide behavior. Oh, listen, I'll go a step further, a step farther. I believe I'm always on suicide type of time because I'm not scared to die. And it depends what the situation is, but I don't give a fuck if I die now. I really don't. I got a reason. This shit, Martin Luther King was on some suicide shit. Nigga, he had to know, nigga, this is a right possibility you gonna die. So he had to know. That's if you want to know how people that commit suicide, that's how they think. That's how you can get a good way of how they think. Martin Luther King, that nigga, Malcolm X, you had to know it's a very possibility you can die and you ain't scared of death. A lot of people that commit suicide ain't scared of death. I'm telling you that. That's why people do shit that they do, good or bad, but they ain't scared of death. Like you think. The motherfuckers that scared of death judge people that commit suicide. And I'm not saying it's nothing. I'm not saying that's wrong. Like that you fear death. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying stop judging people that ain't scared of death. Regardless if it's good or bad, or why they commit suicide. It's evil people out here that do evil shit, scared of dying. Right. Real talk. Listen, you know what shocks? It doesn't shock me, but it should shock some people. It shocked me a little bit. And I'm not wishing this. I don't hope this happened. I'm very shocked that R. Kelly didn't commit suicide. In a way, not fully, but a part of me kind of shocked. But it doesn't shock me. Evil people are scared of death. Some evil people are scared of death. They are. It just is what it is. And people try to sit there and pretend, they believe in this God. Even the religious people, they scared of death. A lot of them. I'll put it this way. Charlie Kirk. I believe Charlie Kirk wasn't scared of death. To a certain extent. Or he could have just been ignorant and naive to think that his life wasn't in danger. Or he thought he was so protected. But I believe Charlie Kirk wasn't scared of death. That's why he did what he did. And said the shit he said. And moved the way he moved. Some people move the way they move because they're not scared of death. Some people say, if I gotta die, and I'm one of them, if I die for something. Hopefully I die for something real. What I believe. Some people are like that. That's suicide thinking. So there's a lot of you motherfuckers out here that even judge people about people committing suicide. You actually ain't no different than them. You're not. Anyway, let's move on.
And then he took his own life. And I wish somebody in his corner would have said, hey, bro, let's just go to court, man. You gonna be all right. Just get an attorney.
First of all, you're a piece of shit. And you know that's what happened. You don't think his family was saying that to him? He had a lawyer. What are you talking about, bro? But sometimes when people are broken and they feel broken, they do the extreme. You don't think his family, and this is why Brandon Tatum is the wrong person to be speaking on people's, especially black folks' behalf. You don't think that his family was telling him, and maybe he didn't even tell his family that he was thinking about committing suicide. We don't know that. Maybe they had no idea. Usually when people commit suicide, they don't tell people. A high percentage, they don't tell them. They've been thinking about it for a long time. And they don't tell people. And they just commit suicide. God rest the legend of Robert Williams, the comic. They knew he was depressed, but he never talked about committing suicide. He never talked about that with his wife. She said it. I knew he was depressed, but he never spoke about committing suicide. Like he was there at that point. I knew he was dealing with some things, but he never talked about killing himself. Shit, a psychologist will tell you that. People that commit suicide, they're not around spreading that shit around. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna kill. That is very rare. That's rare. People that commit suicide, a lot of people that commit suicide do not spread that shit around. They almost embarrassed. And a part of them don't want nobody trying to stop them. They accept the deep, dark place that they are in. And they don't want nobody to fuck their darkness up. So this dude, this is another thing where he's unqualified to be speaking about. This is what I mean. You got people out here speaking about some shit they have no qualifications to be speaking about. Talk about somebody around should have said something. You don't know that. You don't know. He even told them he was thinking of that. How the fuck they know? Your family members is in the dark a lot of the times when people commit suicide. All they can say, yeah, he was in a dark place, but we didn't think he was going to do that. You hear it all the time from people's family members that wind up committing suicide. So his statement is asinine. He's not qualified to speak about this. Somebody should have said something. A lot of family members don't know. This is where it comes to where I think, are you a human being? Do you really read? Do you really give a fuck about research? Brandon Tatum? Or you just saying shit to say it?
You ain't gonna do the rest of your life. It was an accident. You were trying to go around traffic because you were in a rush or something, and it wasn't malicious. But you can see on the camera that he's flying in the wrong way traffic, going around all those cars that are coming to a stop. Okay. Now let me show you an example, and we're gonna get to the conspiracies in a minute. Y'all just hold on. Let me show you an example of a family who were being honest about a situation that happened with their family member. And this is another black family, which you rarely see this ever happen. Everybody always saying, my baby didn't do nothing. He didn't even do nothing. This is a family that was
First
at least.
of all, you are a liar. You are a liar. And see, and this is the problem with black people. You using race now, right? Because you feel it's credible that you use race because people using race. But you're using race. You don't got to do that. Why are you using race? You keep telling us race don't matter. Why are you using race? Because you have to use race in everything. But anyway, let's move on.
Honest, saying that he was beloved by his family, whatever, but he made the wrong decision. And the only reason I'm showing this because I think more families need to be honest about their family members cutting up and doing the wrong thing. And there's another,
mind you, is Brandon Tatum having this conversation or talking about the dude that killed Charlie Kirk, his family? No, he's not. He always focuses on black folks. This is the problem with you sellouts. This is the problem. You act like it's only black people in your version of it's only the black family members that keep defending certain black people in our family that do wrong. It's only our race. We only do that. No, that's not true. Shit, we seen the goddamn plenty of these mass shooters' family. Talk about how great he was. We didn't expect this to happen. And he try to pretend his black families ain't saying the same shit. A lot of black families say the same shit when they got family members that do fuck shit. A whole lot. But you see the white supremacy pivot. That's what, listen, this is why we say what we say about you, Brandon Tatum. We can't make this shit up. You do it, bro, all the time. This is what we need to do in the black community. What about the white community? They don't do it. It's more them than us. They commit more crime than us. Do they speak up and say, no, they don't. Not a lot of them. They actually, a lot of them defend them. What are you talking about? Remember the little drunk dude? The judge let him off. He wound up committing even more murder. He got in a car accident. His family supported him. What are you talking about? Give me a second, y'all. All right, people, I'm back. Let's finish this off, man. Listen, and this is why we call these coons. We say the shit and we call them coons the way they do. They always trying to make black people, we always do shit wrong. They never talk about the positive shit. Nothing about black people is positive. And you're a black man. Yeah, we got our issues, nigga, but damn, speak about some good shit we do. He never does that. Or he never goes after those white people that defends racists or people that white people that commit horrible crime or their families. These coons always do this shit. Damn, we can't be the only bad people in America, bro. America is only broken because of black people. Are you fucking kidding me? Let's move on.
Family that I would show, but we don't have a body worn camera at this point. But they're saying he ain't even do nothing. We got that family on there, or we took it out. You got it right there, Grandma on the far left. Yeah, let me show you that real quick. I know I'm jumping, but let me show you this real quick. According to the police report, they family member was pistol whipping a police officer, pistol whipping him before he shot him. And we'll come back to this story another time, because then we'll get the body camera so you can see what happened, and then we'll show it. But listen to what this family said after their loved one was pistol whipping a cop and ended up getting shot. Roll it.
That's just awful, right? First time, let me say this too. You know, he bringing up one incident. We know white people kill cops. He never talked about the white dude that was in a domestic violence situation in was it Pennsylvania? I think it was Pennsylvania, where the dude killed cops. He didn't even talk about that. He never talks about that. But anything to discredit black people, he'll put out. Or to justify he using his black family to justify his talking point. But he never talked about that white cop. I mean, that white dude that killed them white cops. That happens a lot. People, it's very, very rare. And I mean this. And it's factual that I can back it up. It's very, very rare that black people do fuck shit to the cops, beat the cops, shoot the cops. That's some rare shit. Black people are scared of the police. Not a lot of white people ain't scared of the police. They ain't scared of them. That's why they will kill their ass. They will beat them. They will fight them. They will talk back. And very aggressive. But Brandon Tatum now talks about that. But let's move on. It's all about how black people, we need to act. We need to act a certain type of way. Let's move on.
No, he didn't do anything. He was asking for help. That's all my son wanted was help.
It's only been a few days since Wendy Dawson's son Jarrell was shot and killed by a Broward sheriff's deputy. She barely has the strength to speak about it. To speak about it.
I just want to know why they had to do him like that.
We know what people are saying about him, but we know him personally.
Thursday night, nearly 100 friends and family gathered outside the home where he was killed.
Thank you, Lord.
They prayed and sang. They also
Nick, you better
demanded
stop
justice.
talking about people.
Where was the negotiator?
None.
Where was the SWAT team?
None.
Where was the call?
Bullets? Where was the beanbags that
The gas can.
Sunday, BSO says a deputy was forced to open fire after hearing gunshots. BSO says they initially responded to the area near Sunrise Boulevard off I-95 after reports of a possible disturbance involving a man on drugs walking with a gun where children were. Dawson's family admits he was on drugs, but saying he wasn't a threat.
He was also calling the police on himself.
Yes.
Exactly. He wanted
Ask for help.
NBC6 obtained video showing the moments before the deadly encounter. You can see Dawson walking out of a home.
And Brandon Tatum think that shit is funny. He really genuinely think this shit is funny. The man was in crisis in a way. And listen, and can I say this to anybody? I don't fuck if you black or not. listen, you can lose your mind fucking with these drugs out here. Drugs is not a good thing to be fucking around with. Shit, intoxicated people that get fucked up wind up doing some shit they ain't got no business doing. But I tell people this all the time about people that's intoxicated, right? However they're acting, that's how they probably was feeling before they got intoxicated. Facts. But people that get fuck with drugs and do drugs, nigga, they can't even comprehend what they're doing. A lot of the times, especially if you're so high, you can't. But anyway, I'm gonna leave that there. Because another story I want to get in to. Do I got the story? Oh, I got the story. Do I got the damn story? Hold on. I think I do got the story. I'm doing another live stream for this. I think I do. Yeah, I'm gonna do another live stream. People. Yeah, Brandon Tatum should be ashamed of himself. And I'll leave that shit as that. He should be ashamed of himself. You don't do this shit. I don't know if I did this story or not. But I'm going to do another live stream, y'all. I'm out. Leave your comments, hit that like button, support your boys. Your boy, Mr. OB. Peace and love to the world.